Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We marching with the nesters, they laid the foundation, passed down revelation, sparked our motivation. In a world of facades, we peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. Case, we break the cage. Thought by thought, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. Rise up, speak out, watch the new world breathe.
Everyone, hello, testing 1 2 3. Hopefully you can hear me quite well. I am excited to be here. I am your host, Phoenix, and this is Phoenix Talks. And gosh, here we are, the night before Thanksgiving, and then we are on to Christmas. And I will tell you, it has been a wild journey this year. If you've been around these old TikTok streets and the YouTube streets now, you will know that we have had a crazy busy year. And I am so excited for the end of this year and 2026 to be ushered in, that I will tell you, I don't know who in this nest is cooking, but I'm telling you, I am whipping out some amazing food. Okay, so I've got my brine all done. I'm going to do that turkey and I'm going to let it sit overnight, cook the turkey in the morning. So who here is cooking? Anyone? Who's cooking? Because I'll tell you, I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's do a speed round of Thanksgiving real quick. Les is cooking and I'll welcome y'all in. Let's drop a speed round and hit the thumbs up button. I've got a whole packed live stream for you, and then I will be baking my heart away. I've got my sourdough rising from my rolls. I did a loaf yesterday. I've got it cut up to dry it out and cook it to make my stuffing. I make everything homemade as much as I possibly can. And it is like, holy moly, it's wild. So my kitchen is a mess right now. I'm going to do this stream. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be on Friday evening. I am not a Black Friday shopper, so I will be on Friday evening with even more juicy stuff. Juicier than my turkey, okay? Let's do a fantastic, amazing speed round. Ready? I hope y'all are ready. Get in here. All right, hit that thumbs up button. Turkey or ham? Go. Turkey or ham? I'm going to play along with you guys. Cooking or just eating? Kind of ask you guys that one. Football or movies? I think we'll be 50-50 on that one. Travel or stay home this year? We usually travel, but we are staying home this year. And this one's a good one. Speed round. Drop them below. Don't even think. Just drop the answer. Dinner drama or dessert drama? Which one hits your family harder? Dinner drama or dessert drama? Now, this one's kind of, I had to ask it. Who's the one person you hope doesn't show up this year for Thanksgiving? Who's the one person you hope that does not show up for Thanksgiving? Uh, here's another one. This is a truth or dare. Do you actually like turkey or are we just all pretending? I really like turkey. Would you rather host or escape and say you're too busy? Host or escape? And last one, what's the most overrated turkey Thanksgiving dish? Be honest. I could have asked some spicier questions. Now, I'm disowned. Oh, I'm so sorry, Caleb. I'm sending my turkey good vibes to you. Hopefully, if you don't have a turkey to bake, that you go to maybe go to the deli. And I mean, even when I hated to bake, I still made turkey for the kids. I would go to the deli back in the days when I was never going to cook a turkey. I swore I would never. But back in the days, I'd go to the deli and I'd ask the lady behind the counter to slice me some turkey in big, thick slices. It qualified for turkey dinner. And sometimes I do that for ham too on Easter. I'm guilty. All right. So welcome in Caleb. Welcome in Dina. Welcome in Cat's Girl. Les, good to see you. Lulu Bell. Happy Nesters. Happy Turkey Day to all. That's so sweet. Hey, Caleb. It's really good to see you and Les. Good to see you, everyone. What was the question? Car key. Good afternoon. If you make a key. No, it wouldn't be the master. I don't think it would be the master. Has anyone experienced losing their keys and calling someone to make them a new car key? Like a mobile key smith or a locksmith? I've never had that happen. Regular car key, not the chipped ones. A regular car key should be pretty easy, no? Good afternoon, Chantel. Good to see you here, Karen. Amanda B in the house. I'm multitasking. Behave, nesters. I hear you. Come on in and listen. No talkie before coffee. Boy, I had coffee this morning. Ran an errand, ran through Starbucks. $6 for coffee, guys. Shh. I'm like, yeah, we don't get it very often. And I wanted a peppermint mocha, and they were out of peppermint syrup. I didn't even get what I wanted. Karen, welcome in. No talkie before coffee. I love it. Let's see. No, it wouldn't be a master key, Caleb. It would be a master key to you, but not to the car unless you went to the dealership. They can make you a master. I believe so. I'm not a locksmith. I don't know. No expert here. I remember thinking that the trial would be over by now. Yeah, absolutely. Around Christmas time. Cooking at the cousins late here. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. Welcome in. Okay, I said turkey. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Terry says hello. Ham. Karen, ham. No talkie before coffee, turkey. Les, ham. Caleb, ham. Well, I really gave up all pork, so I can't have ham. So I am cooking turkey, and I love movies. Cooking, eating, eating, cooking, cooking, cooking. Nothing cooking and eating. I think we're going to probably watch a movie, stay home, movies, football. My husband watches football on Saturdays, so that's college ball. Nothing like a good Die Hard movie, guys. I'm telling you, Bruce Willis, bring it home. Stay home, stay home, stay home, home, stay home. Okay, we're all pretty much staying home. Dessert drama, dinner drama, dessert drama. Rebecca, dinner drama. Brenda, dessert drama. I can only imagine. Hopefully, we won't have any drama this year. Tax collector. Oh, that's funny. One person that you hope doesn't show up this year. My wonderful daughter is cooking for me. Oh my gosh, it's nice to have somebody cook for you. Pretending, we're all pretending that we like turkey. Escape, escape. Has anybody gone on a vacation during Thanksgiving just to escape? I highly recommend it. Boy, that would be a joy. Green bean casserole. I like casserole. Love cranberries. I like jellied and I like whole cranberries, especially fresh ones. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, I think you have to go to the dealer too, Caleb. I hope you can, if that happened to you, hopefully you can get a copy. And it is expensive. Crazy. It's just coffee. Yeah, it's coffee with a lot of sugar. And I usually make my own at home, but we were out. Um, yes, about 250 due to expediting. That's what I thought. I thought it would be kind of expensive. So Lulu Bell's got some background in that, and she says making a key is kind of expensive. Oh snap! I'm making a ribeye. We did prime rib one year, and that was really good instead of a turkey. So you win the internet today, busted blush 3UT. U3T, U3T. Okay. Drip drop, aka Circus Crime, and he's back. Oh, really? Okay. I'll go ahead and take a look at that. I know a lot of people talk about him. I really don't watch other creators. I try to stay out of all that, and I follow by instinct, and I watch. If someone has something they want me to watch or they recommend it, I'll go ahead and take a look at that too. So let's see. Let's do this. Okay, so I've got a lot for you guys today. And the first thing I always have to say, I've got my disclaimer up. We are speculating. We are like minded here. And remember, we rise above all the rumors. We stay curious, asking questions. I totally think with open minds. And I would be remiss if I didn't play this video. So let's keep it legit in here. There was so much hate last night in Birdie's live that I was in towards me, and I don't play that game. So if you're trolling, and keep scrolling or be quiet. If you want to listen, don't care. Every question here matters. Every angle's welcome. Every speculation. Nothing is off limits. And if this is you thinking in a open-minded way, welcome home. This is where curiosity sparks the fire. So when you start talking about Thanksgiving, and I said this whole week would be filled with Thanksgiving, first of all, I highly want to pause. And this Thanksgiving, I just want to take a real quick second to pause to honor the first responders who show up when the rest of the world is running away at the scene of a crime or at a disaster. To the firefighters, EMTs, officers, dispatchers, nurse, search teams, rescue teams, to every unsung hero out there who work holidays so others can make it home, thank you. Thank you for your service. Your courage holds communities together. The compassion steadies families in their darkest moments. Your sacrifice reminds every single one of us what true service looks like. It's not just a paycheck. There are certain people called for these specific jobs. So as we gather around our tables tonight or tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon and evening, we carry a deep gratitude for people who protect, heal, and rescue without hesitation. So, all of you watching replay in the chat live, all of you, you are the heartbeat of safety for our communities. And this Thanksgiving, we give thanks to you.
triennial exercise. Every 36 months, we are required by the FAA to conduct a full-scale exercise. This is an opportunity for us to practice for a large multi-casualty incident here at the airport. Nature victims that are moulaged to simulate injuries that was sustained from a aircraft accident. You will see our ARF units respond for fire suppression, victim triage, transport, mutual aid partners that respond and support our initial ARF response. Behind the scenes, we have a lot of coordination. There's a simulation thin cell. It's a group of people that are going to simulate all the calls coming into the airport, some of the artificialities for decision making. We also have our Airport Emergency Operations Center fully activated. We also have a policy room activated. All our crews here today, we set aside volunteers for just this exercise. So despite what happens, it has no impact to our normal operation in the terminals and our service levels for our passengers and travel public. The key is to build and strengthen our relationship with our response partners. We're trying to get an honest assessment of where we are and identify any gaps so we can fix and prepare better for a real-life emergency.
I'm not sure why, but there is a delay, so hopefully this will catch up.
We're seeking that
there it goes.
Brian is innocent. Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public so that people can not this neat little package, so people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Fair game for the public to hear. You know, no topic is off limits, especially when looking through documents and we're seeing a lot of interesting things come out. You know, last night, I'm going to just recap. We were on with Birdie last night. One thing I want to show you is that there was a video that I made that debunked someone's time delta. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, we don't enjoy rumors. We're going for facts and evidence. And with that being said, there is a video that I have made and I have shared because in a specific video of someone's body camera, they were trying to say that there was a time delta. In this one video, I have proved only in this one video, there is no time delta. So when I say that, I want you to remember it was for this one video. Okay. And that's why I made this video to show you that there was no time delta. Okay. That has already been proven. Someone is out there trying to say that there is a time delta. There is no time delta for this body cam. Okay. Some of the body cams, I believe, have been changed, in my humble opinion, which I can assume and speculate and obviously ponder on that. But for this time at 15:39 that Officer Payne is standing outside of 1122 King Road in the Idaho 4, this proves that this body cam time was never manipulated. Please watch the video. Phoenix here, and it's time that we all use our God-given logic. This time says 15:39. With all these people out there saying there's some time delta, there is no time delta. The Moscow Police Department body cams are the correct time. As you can see here, proven factual. And it's really simple. Look at the date and the time, and then look at the date and the time of sunset. And this proves that there are no time deltas in the Moscow, Idaho 4 case. Okay, so at 4:18:59, they counted the sun started to set. That's the sunset time. So this time lines up exactly with the body cam around that time. This video from Detective Payne at that time, this was within 24 hours, they made him a detective. They promoted him. This time was correct. Now, if there's other videos out there that the time has been moved and changed, it is to fit their narrative that they have been putting down our throats forever. And like I said last night on Birdie's, he had no idea. Back in May of 2025, I made that video that showed Olivia's timeline at 1:56 is when she swore up and down those kids got home. And in fact, I believe that at 1:56, that is the time that Kaylee and Maddie returned home and something went down. Now, I've been saying this for a while. There must have been some type of party going on, and other people are now finally coming forward and telling us what exactly went down that night. People are starting to have consciences. And what happens when people start telling the truth? Well, some people get rattled, some people get shaken up, some people get shaken down, and honestly, things start happening. Truth starts coming out. Anybody remember Mike? I'm going to throw a video up here. Anybody remember Mike? Let's see. I'm having problems with my audio today too. Hold on. Mr. Mike that was investigating with them and watching them closely. Watch this video as Mr. Mike starts to explain things. Let me see if I can get this back up here. I don't want to have a crash out today. I've got way too much to do. Anybody ever feel like that sometimes? I know how Birdie feels. Let's see if I can do this. There it is. Okay. He says they're doing a deep scrub of that house.
They're doing a deep scrub of that house. Our medical examiners made it known that there was a great deal of blood in that house. They're trying to determine if they can find any kind of a DNA match with the blood. They know whether there's one or more person that may have that committed these crimes, that murdered these individuals. There is a great deal of speculations out here. There's some information that's been put out about a peeping Tom. There's been some information that's been put out about a dog being skinned, I think dismissed. This is more personal. This was someone, maybe more than one person. It's highly unlikely that I think that they're looking toward a peeping Tom, or they're looking at someone who maybe skinned a dog. I think they've somewhat checked both of those things out, and I think that they've dismissed.
Okay, so Mr. Mike was a investigator on the scene, and he also was a retired detective, and he made the most sense. And unfortunately, the town, the people ran him out of there. And there was always a reason why they ran him out of there. Just like there's always a reason that trolls come around and they try to throw off the creators that are on the right track. Okay. He was amazing. He was an amazing individual. But I want you, let me see if I can get this video up here without it playing. I want you to listen to what Officer Snyder says in this video, and I'm going to go in more detail in the background with some pictures. Yes, Caleb, this is the guy that they've talked about. This is the retired detective that was like step by step, telling the investigators what was wrong, what they were doing. This was a personal crime. But listen to what Officer Snyder says in the beginning of his footage, guys. Now, Snyder is taking a picture of 1118. Okay, that is the house that Emily Allant and Josie L. lived in. Public information, all known. Les, we love you too. Thank you so much for that amazing donation today. Now, Officer Snyder is the one that goes around the whole neighborhood, starts talking, starts taking information first, gets pictures, gets pictures of all the cars that are in the area, finds out which car that JD drives, and JD being Jack DeCour. It is obviously well known that he talks to a couple of the frats that are living in that house across the way on King. But this house right here, he's taking a picture of all these cars in the driveway. That is factually 1118 King Road. Okay? Keep that in mind. Did it again. Hold on. It's going to pop up here. Give it 1 second to load. Let's try this again. I don't want to have a crash out day. Every time I have some important information, it starts to do it. He goes up in between this house. Ah, shoot. Sorry, guys.
What's up, man?
Is this about me being outside, or?
My buddy said he saw you out there.
Yeah, I was just walking around trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay, you guys live here?
Yeah, or they
Okay.
do.
What?
Did you guys hear anything, see anything last night or early this morning?
Can you tell us, like, what happened?
We can't tell you what's going on right now,
Is everyone okay?
but we're going to have you guys you guys are all safe, okay?
Yes.
But we're going to have you guys stay inside for right now, if you don't mind. And we might have somebody come back and talk with you guys, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'd appreciate it if anybody leaves, so let us know. Okay? Okay, thank you. Do you mind if I take pictures right here? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, appreciate it.
All right, let's know if you need anything.
Now, it kind of looks like somebody has walked through this area. He takes pictures of the feet in the snow prints. And on the other side of the house, you'll see him do the same thing.
Thank you.
Now he's looking at the prints in the snow that you can see all the way back down from the house, all the way down to this side. Ah!
Yeah, I can't tell you though. So,
Now, he does go over and talk to the two frats where Adam and JD lives. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. He's going to point to the car right here, that VW that says that's JD's vehicle. But where's the white Elantra? The white Elantra that SG allows JD to drive.
this is your address here.
Yeah. We all live here.
What's your first name, man? Your last name. I think I interacted with you not too long.
Now, he doesn't talk to all of the individuals that live there. He doesn't even ask this guy to see his hands. He asks the next guy, but if you've noticed in the background, they forget to blur this guy's face. They blur it a little bit, then you could see his face, then he asks some questions, then he comes back around. But in the beginning of this footage, like I said, I'm going to go through the whole footage. But in the beginning of this footage, the officer says they might have saw someone last night.
Nobody knows anything. Did one say they saw someone?
Did someone say they saw someone? That is right at the the bottom of this screen right here. That is the 1118. Why is that?
Nobody knows anything. Did one of them say they saw someone?
Did one of them say they saw someone? And he answers yes. These are two police officers talking back and forth to each other. They saw someone come out.
Hi.
That is the 1118. Now, let me tell you, if someone saw someone come out, how come we don't see a witness report that says that? You know, for me, that would automatically think there is some, what is it called again? Exculpatory evidence that could show something different. Like maybe there was a party at 1118 and someone didn't want someone to know that there was a party at 1118 that Friday night. And since we like to be here and we like to dispel rumors, yes, in fact, the girls did live at this 1118 house. This is them standing on top of this house, and that is the security camera right here in this other blue house, gray house. Okay, so we know for a fact that that 1118 house is where Emily Alant, Xana's friend, and a couple of other people lived. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so when you look at Snyder's body cam, he's going around and he's looking at 1118. He's talking to a few people. There are people, like I said, that want the truth out there, that are scared, that are giving us little bits and pieces of the truth because they finally come to the realization that justice needs to be served. Okay? And I totally agree. And if you ever have doubts, I do have a lot more pictures that will prove that that was the 1118 house right here. This is the window. And this is factually the house that they lived in. So, and they would go party in. And that being said, there was a party that night at the frats, and some people were there, and this was that party. This was that party that was at 1118. And to the person who sent me pictures, I appreciate it. And there's a lot of information that hasn't been shared. There's Bethany again on the roof with Xana. That is where they lived. That party was the night that they, obviously, of the murders, there was a party, and the lighting matched everything that was taken from the party pictures that had been scrubbed from the internet. And there's a lot of information out there. This is the fridge in the house, the kitchen I just showed you, the lights in the background. That indeed is 1118, the square. It was a party that was said to be had on the night of the unalivings. So whatever happened at that party, like I said the other night, there was some party. They were having a pre-party, as they admitted. And, you know, if there is some officer involvement because somebody was at that party that should have not been at the party, then they've hidden that from us. They've given us some narrative that they want us to believe in. And this is what happens. I'm going to show you a video. This is what happens when police officers, judges, sheriffs start to cover things up. I want you to listen to this. This is really important. Let me see if it'll add it. Hold on a minute. Every time I change the landscaping, it'll go. This is wild, folks. And this stuff happens. Let's see if I can add it back to the stage. Here it is.
Entire town's police department has been under investigation in Arizona, and the town won't tell its residents why. The Round Valley Police Department in Arizona, which is actually shared by two towns, Springerville and Eager, was placed under investigation earlier this year. Just recently, that investigation concluded, and they are refusing to release its findings. The town is blaming the Department of Public Safety in Arizona. The Department of Public Safety in Arizona is blaming the town. All we know is the residents don't know anything. Even the Springerville mayor is accused of lying about whether or not she's seen it. Another council member had to come out and say, she emailed it to me. What are we talking about? Now, it's been hinted at that the investigation has to do with violations of the Brady List. The Brady List is a list of police officers who have credibility or misconduct issues. And there have been a lot of misconduct allegations against this police department. One police officer with the Round Valley Police Department was repeatedly reported for essaying children, and his own police department wouldn't arrest him. It took an outside police department to actually arrest this guy. Even the chief of police resigned after being caught lying under oath in a wrongful death case. These residents deserve to know the truth about this investigation, especially since their taxes are paying for this.
So don't you think the people of Moscow, Idaho, should know the truth about this story in their own backyards? Allegedly, yes. Remember the Mexican party? I don't. Some colleges just got busted in North Carolina. Well, let me tell you, there is hope for Idaho, folks. Yes, I agree. There is hope for Idaho, folks. And when I say that, let's look at this. Idaho State Police arrests a suspect in 2022 New Plymouth double homicide. This was just released on the 25th November 2025. And the Idaho State Police have arrested a 35-year-old man in connection with a 2022 double homicide that left two people dead inside their New Plymouth home. ISP says Joshua M. Kirkman was taken into custody after a lengthy multi-agency investigation into the shooting death of Eric Ortega and Megan Amaya. The pair were found dead on May 14, 2022, inside their house on Ada Road. According to the investigators, Kirkman knew the victims had been visiting the home multiple times by witnesses and surveillance video. Despite that, ISP said he denied knowing them during interviews. Detectives say evidence also links Kirkman to the crime through a pistol he allegedly threw into the canal while fleeing from Mauler community deputies shortly after the killings. The firearm was later recovered and confirmed as a forensic match to the gun used in the homicide. These families have waited a long time for accountability in this case. District 3, which did a lot of investigative work into the Idaho 4 case, Captain Mike Winus said in his statement, "This investigation required steady and detailed work that included tracking down evidence, reviewing video, and interviewing people with information about this case. The detectives and our local partners followed the facts where they led, and this kind of work that leads to holding violent crimes accountable." Investigators say that they also have information indicating additional suspects were involved in the murders. ISP is working with prosecutors in Idaho and Oregon, as well as other law enforcement partners in the investigation. It still continues, and additional charges remain possible. The Payette County Sheriff's, Mullers County Sheriff's officers, Oregon State Police, and prosecutors in both states assisted with the case. All right, ISP, we're going to call you out. We're going to call you out. We're going to call every single law-abiding citizen in Moscow and all the agencies that are supposed to be doing their job after what we know about Brian Koberger not being connected to the crime, not knowing these individuals, not stalking, nowhere near, can't place them inside the house. Who committed these murders? Who did this? It's time for someone to be held accountable for these violent crimes. Were the frats involved? That is where the case was leading. It was leading to Boise, Idaho. All the way from Moscow down to Boise, Idaho, the investigation continued, and they were tailing people. Folks, were the frats involved? Drop a 1 if you think the frats were involved. Drop a 1. It's okay. We can critically think, we can look at the evidence, we can talk about the forensics, but you know what? The time has already come and gone. We don't need to talk about that anymore. We need to talk about true justice being served in this case. And if Moscow, the residents of Moscow, Idaho, are too scared to talk and go against the system in the university, in their town, who can they trust? Because remember, first responders, we honor them. We believe that they will do the job. If anyone believes this job was done, other than the inside job, in my humble opinion, the Idaho 4 deserve better. We don't need to make it political. We just need to hold them accountable in not prosecuting the right people. And if they know who did this, shame on them. Shame on them. And you are absolutely right. I believe this. I believe this speculation. JS went to his cabin that morning. Well, didn't he go to Floyd's cannabis shop and they got him on video that morning? Don't they have him on video? I've looked at the MPD reports, and I will tell you, no one knew where Xana and Ethan were. I believe they were at the party next door. I believe they were walking back. They were at the party, and then they were going home. And that is why you can hear all that on a camera. Now, remember, per the reports, we have to believe some of these reports. We can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And I believe one person knows exactly where Xana and Ethan may have been. And that was Xana's dad and sister. Because this sequence number 5 that is so out of order in the Moscow Police Department's reports, it says, on November 13th at 12:53, I arrived on scene. Who is this arriving on scene? Dallinger, the new chief in Moscow. He arrived on scene at King Road. He spoke with Gunderson and Lawrence, who gave him a brief overview of the information. So he arrives there an hour later. Sergeant Lawrence informed me the Idaho State Police were going to assist in the investigation and were organizing to respond to the scene. But remember, they couldn't access the scene until 5 p.m. when the warrant came through. That's in documents. So approximately 1 hour later, a male approached the scene and began speaking with Sergeant Gunderson. Now, if you remember, Jeff Kernodle, daughter Jasmine Kernodle, was at Washington State University for, in fact, Parents' Weekend. Okay? Washington was having Parents' Weekend. The male identified himself as J.K. Kernodle, her dad. I overheard Jeff state his daughter lived at the 1122 King Road, and he had been trying to get in touch with her but was unsuccessful. I also learned that Jay, daughter of Jay, that was Jazz, daughter of Jeff Kernodle, was nearby the scene. I asked Jay if he and Jay could come to the police department to speak with me. Jay agreed, and I returned to the police department. I contacted Sergeant Lawrence at the police department and asked if he knew the names of the victims. Sergeant Lawrence stated he gave me the list. I saw one of the victims' name was Xana A. Kernodle, and then met with Jeff and Jasmine in the interview room off the police department lobby. Once in the room, I activated the audio and video recording equipment. I asked Jeff and Jasmine for their information that they both handed me their Arizona driver's licenses. After writing down their information, I asked Jeff the name of his other daughter. Jeff told me her name was Xana. I then informed Jeff and Jasmine that Xana was identified as one of the victims, that she was deceased. Both of them became very upset and were crying heavily. I asked Jeff and Jasmine when the last time they communicated with Xana was. Jeff stated he texted Xana on 11/11/22 at approximately 5 p.m. Jasmine said Jeff said the text messages were brief and were not of any substance. Jeff said he texted Xana on 11/11/22 at around 3:40 p.m. and she responded stating she was at work. Then he told me he last spoke with her on the phone at approximately 9:40 that night of the game. And they were he was talking about going to the WSU football game. I asked Jay where Xana worked, and he said Mad Greek. That was her dad. I asked both Jeff and Jasmine if Xana mentioned anything about having any issues with anyone or anything strange occurring lately. Both Jeff and Jasmine said Xana had not said anything. Jeff said Xana had a boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who she had been dating for about 6 months or so. He said everything seemed fine with their relationship, and Jay added how he met Ethan's parents in passing this weekend. So he's telling them, I met with the parents this weekend. So here's a thought process in this. Jeff is sitting there telling Dallinger, I met with Ethan's parents this weekend. So Ethan's parents were there that weekend, folks. Parents' weekend for U of I was the weekend before, but they were there the weekend of WSU. Okay? So Jay added how we met Ethan's parents in passing this weekend. It should be noted Jay was in town visiting as he resides in Avondale, Arizona. It was Washington State's University Parents' Weekend because that's where Jazzy was going to school. That's what Xana called her. I asked Jeff and Jasmine if there's anyone that wished me to contact for them. If he wished to speak with anyone, such as a member of the clergy, both told me no. I gave them my business card and informed them that our detectives would be in contact with them in the near future. J and J then left the police department. Now, with that being said, this is very important, folks. Jeff never stated that he heard from Xana about having pizza at midnight. I don't know where that rumor has come from. I have never seen anything in writing. I have never seen a made up text or a real text. But I will say that if my daughter was just murdered and I found this out, I would be giving police every little bit of information. So to me, it looks like the last time that her dad talked to Xana was on 11/11/22 at approximately 9:40 at night. That looks like the last time that they spoke or texted. And Jeff just stated that he met Ethan's parents in passing this weekend. So Ethan's parents were in the area that weekend, which I think is a little odd. Very odd. Why were they there that weekend when they were just there the weekend before? Did they stay the whole week and decided to make another couple of days out of a 7-day trip? Who knows? But I will say this, a father and a mother know their child and the last time they talked to them. I mean, he could have whipped out his phone and said, yeah, the last time I got a text was this time. That's the last time. Now, if anyone has information or a video or something that comes across their mind, definitely share that. We can eliminate that rumor. He never said or said, yeah, I got a text. They were eating pizza at 12:30. So, I mean, this is why the detectives were asking for any information about Xana and Ethan at 9 o'clock to 1:45. So they couldn't place them anywhere. Like, what happened to Xana and Ethan? Where did they disappear for hours? Where did they go? It's really hard to speculate, but I know that these parents know. I know that Kara's mom knows. Kara, Xana's mom, because she specifically said in her interview that I've shared over and over, a mother knows, a father knows. I'm telling you, a mother knows stronger because of that bond with that child. Mothers know. Who has seen anything in relation to that? I don't know. With that being said, and them not knowing where Xana was, where Ethan was, who was the last people or person to see them, and was it indeed at the party that no one wants to talk about? So you can keep a secret if there's one or two, but once there's more than one, once there's more than two, people are trying to get the truth out there. It seems like lately there's just as much trolling as anything the closer that we get to the actual factual truth. Dylan's phone had huge gaps on that Saturday goes back to normal. Yep. I agree. I believe there was a party and someone was trying to cover it up. If you look at the documents that I was talking about in the state's exhibits, and I'll share those with you, I will point it out. The state knew something. They were getting all these people, they were getting them all to come to court. I'm sure Ann Taylor was hoping that one of them would break down and confess, as Judge Hippler put in his notes. Great, if you get them on the stand and they break down and tell the truth and they confess, great. I think right there should tell everybody what happened and the alleged speculative cover up that it's beginning to look like. And this case, in my humble opinion, should be reopened, reinvestigated. If they have this much evidence, they should have the perpetrators. They should know who they are. And I will show you once again in my records, in my notes, one of the things that is always stuck in my mind in regards to this evidence. This evidence right here. Dylan Mortenson's phone record summary for 11/13/2022, 2:10 a.m. to 1:04 p.m. that day. Not only hers, but Jack DeCour's text messages at 2:15, a summary, and then from 2:26 to 2:53. The last time Kaylee signed a receipt for possibly a drink at the bar. This one doesn't have a timestamp on it. Maddie had 2 drinks at 10:23, 11:27 accounted for. Those are the time frames that they were looking at. I believe that is the true timeline. Everything else that has been released has not been officially released. Somebody's just out there releasing stuff. I don't know why. I don't know if it's to cover something else up. But those were the times that they specifically were looking at. Period. There were no other times in or anywhere around 4 o'clock on these lists. I think 4 o'clock was a made-up time, in my humble opinion. At 4 a.m., at 4 a.m. Well, the records indicate, no, sweetie, it was 2 a.m. Something was going on at 2 a.m. There was no way Maddie was drunk like everyone is saying after 2 weeks. If you're a lightweight drinker, absolutely. Absolutely. Unless someone had put something in her drink. That's alleged. But somebody lightweight, low body weight, 2 alcohol drinks, depending on how strong they made them, it is very possible. I think 3 a.m. is when the phones went silent. Probably. Because everything looks like it cuts off at 3 a.m. 3:01 is when that call's made. Yep, 3:01 is when that call was made too. So when you think about it and you look at the evidence that was given on the state's exhibit list, because I will look at the documents, I will try to understand what happened. There was many disturbance calls at the 1122 King Road when Maddie and Kaylee weren't home. There was another one when Kaylee was actually there. Now, I don't know if these 2 groups of friends didn't like the partying going on, or Kaylee being the mother figure and said, enough partying, I don't want to get busted, I don't want to get thrown out of this place. All these properties were, the majority of them were managed by the same management company. And obviously with the party next door that people are saying that took place, can we FOIA the 3:01 a.m. call? Absolutely. There's been so much that I have FOIA'd that they say it's privacy, or, I mean, just a hodgepodge of things. I can ask for the 301. We can go through Whitman 911 call center. There's other ways to get information other than just a FOIA, guys. When you start looking at all this, I want you to go back to this. When you think about this case and being thankful this hasn't happened in your city, in your state, I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this throughout this whole case. Molly looking around at 4 a.m. Somebody could have placed that DoorDash. But I want you to remember what's said on this video.
Nobody knows anything. Did one of them say they...
He says, you really serious? No one knows anything? In the beginning of this footage, listen real close, volume up if you've got headphones in. 3-second warning.
Nobody knows anything. Did one of them say they saw someone? Hi.
Yeah, they saw someone come out. Good old Gunderson right there, following him. Because I'm sure that's when it all really went down. I think 253 on, that's when it really went down, in my humble opinion, unfortunately. I would really bank on that being the time frame. Now, we do have, Birdie's Delta. I've got a screenshot of Birdie's Delta. And if we start looking at what they've told us versus what we have, that is probably about right. This 204, 156 to 230, 253 is the correct Delta time frame. This 4 o'clock, I don't think so, especially with the people that witnessed third party Dylan and Bethany with 4 girls walking away from 1122 King Road to Taylor. They might have been part of the people running across the street, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion. I think that is highly possible. So everything really started at 1:56 to 2 a.m. and it escalated. Yes. I think, obviously, Maddie and Kaylee were at the bar. They had a party there. They moved it over, or the party started at the 1118. I really do believe that. So, like I said, I want you to think about this weekend, how thankful you are that nothing like this has happened in your community. Thank the EMS. Thank the police. There are good along with bad out there. And when you think of this case, ask yourself, what's the truth? Could the frats be involved? Is this something that was covered up to protect the university? And I think more than likely, a lot of people will come to the conclusion, yes. Unfortunately, I'm thankful that I don't live in a college town any longer. But if you do, and you know what happens in college stays at college. I believe it. I am so sorry to hear that, Anonymous. There are bad apples. And remember, this video.
Police department has been under investigation in Arizona.
It could happen in Moscow. So I'll be back Friday evening. I'll post a live. You guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the food. Enjoy a walk in fresh air if it's not too cold where you are. And enjoy your families. Yeah, I would love to be able to hear from any of the locals. Yeah, be blessed. Have a great Thanksgiving with your loved one. Rest in peace, Tommy Jude. Rest in peace. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone, and be well.
Listen close, we rise up from the ashes, digging for the truth, breaking old habits. We march with the nesters, they laid the found our motivation in a world of facades. We peeling back the layers. Truth is the weapon that cuts through all the fakers. Phonets in our chest, reborn from deception. Eyes wide open, no room for misdirection. Every step we take, we honor the connection between past and present, forging our resurrection. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again. We cultivate vision, planting seeds of awareness, challenge the narrative, break out of the harness, digging deep for knowledge, unearthing the hidden. Our minds are the soil where the future is written, no longer confined by the scripts they prescribe. We write our own story, let the real one subscribe. One voice becomes many, together we rally. Freedom's not a concept, it's a move and a tally. By case, we break the case. Dog by dog, we shift the stage. Phoenix rises in truth, setting us free from the lies that they feed. We reclaim our beliefs, thinking differently, we'll break every chain. We dance for freedom, case by case, again.